We are live now.
Really appreciate you give us the warning.
No problem.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
Yeah, Fish played it all back together and I welded all night on it.
It's amazing. I saw one time, Apple Valley ran wings on site with a plate. It was a steel about that thick that ran up and down a pole. It brought the front wing up and down. It's like about.
Missed the meeting.
Say, if you're not
The old
here,
ones, it's all cable, probably 4 feet out there. Just need somebody to relax the cable so it's kind of yellow. Well, the newer trucks were hydraulic. Normally with hydraulics, you drop it and you hit it. And it floats.
That's cute. Or otherwise, they normally just kind of like stand right there. There is a mic right next to that lovely lady right there.
No engineer?
Is that for each year?
He's not coming.
Oh,
He wasn't gonna be here.
If you just wanna stand right
He had to
there.
take off.
To the camera
Yeah,
to
some
get
guy
your
behind
mic.
the date or something.
it happens. Priorities.
Put an inch and a half steel, right in half of a piece of paper.
And you're here to give a library.
I am finally, yes.
That's why you should go.
Now, Bob, like, you're gonna have to introduce yourself.
Maybe I'll have Bob introduce you. There we go. All systems go.
Good to go.
We got the owl.
I don't know about that.
Yep.
I don't have that function.
I think that's totally.
Well, that's for Teams meetings and
Oh.
Zoom and stuff.
Zoom.
Yeah.
Sounds like Lindsay. Clickety clack, clickety clack.
Jill.
Are you sweating or what? You're the most pickleball or something?
Oops.
Okay. I see on TV that the Karens,
How's your leg?
or
Should I get the
somebody's got a
pickleball?
pickleball court, and they're playing pickleball, and the noise was driving this woman crazy, and she's screaming and hollering at them. It happens.
I know, yeah, that's a real
It
thing.
feels like it's putting up hot air, not cool air. Honestly.
That's just all of us.
No, I think it's temperature actually going up.
Well, it's no longer going right down like usual.
Well, good luck with that thing.
Now it kicked in.
I
Yeah.
don't know if that, Doug's gonna be shivering.
And he always
Doug, if you're not sick, you'll get sick. Yeah.
You don't sit down. She's after I just turned the air on. Jeez.
My glasses. It's not that humid in here. Oh.
Just find it. What's your name? What are you doing? Exercising? The Jeopardy music should be playing.
I made a joke.
I assume Jeff's gonna join us at some point here.
Well, yeah, someone stepped into his office very last minute,
Oh.
found an appointment, so I'm sure he's on
Yeah.
his way, but.
He was double teamed there, so.
I'm sure he's trying. I know it's on his schedule, so. I'll just keep interrupting.
Well, since it's only a discussion meeting, I think we could probably go ahead and start it, so.
Yeah, yep.
It's 5 o'clock and I'll call our
agenda setting discussion meeting to order. It's the Tuesday, September 2nd. We're at the Government Center, and it's 5:00 p.m. And our city administrator is not with us at the moment, but we have a special guest appearance by our librarian, who in person is going to deliver the library report.
Thank you. Yes, I'm Jen Baker, and I'm finally back, so thank you for having me back. Okay, so September is library card sign-up month, so if you or someone you know does not have a library card, please send them in to get one. They're free, so there's really no reason not to have one, I don't believe. We will be hosting 321 Art Studio again. Amy Lucas will be here to do an adult watercolor painting class. She will be here every Wednesday starting tomorrow, September 3rd through October 15th. Each session will run from 10:30 to 1:30 and will be guided to help you learn to paint. Sign-ups are encouraged for the classes because space is limited. In August, we distributed the Take and Create art kits from Erica LeMay. These kits featured colorful coiled baskets for people to take home and do. Erica will be here for an in-person class on Friday, September 12th at 1 p.m. to give a hands-on lesson, and there's limited space for this too, so sign-ups are needed for this. And finally, our annual fall book sale will take place October 2nd through the 4th. So this is put on by the Aurora Friends of the Library, and all donations from book purchases are used to help supplement the library, and we thank them for that again.
Well, as usual, a lot of activities going on, but that's as we transition into the school year. And
Oh, yes.
kind of a problem there. And Bob, you don't have anything to add, do you?
No.
Okay. Thought I'd check. All right. Well, let's see. I know. Well, Josh isn't here, so we. Oh my goodness. So, let's see. City attorney updates. Any? We have a couple matters on the
Agenda, a couple of them closed sessions, so talking about those during closed session. Otherwise, I don't have anything at this time.
And just to clarify again, you recommend that we close first set to go into the first session. Do that, then we go out of that into our regular meeting again, then we go back out of it for the second.
I think it's cleaner that way than we're going in close for two different issues.
Okay.
Sometimes the conversations might overlap between the two issues, and just cleaner to do one and then do the other.
And let's see, otherwise, there was a deed outstanding, wasn't it? The quitclaim deed, did that get resolved?
I sent one over right away.
I don't know what quick.
I'm trying to remember
would
what,
be
anybody else
outstanding,
remember what the parcel was?
Was there a deed on
It
Habitat?
was the EOA facility, that building that was full.
On the house on Second Avenue.
Yeah.
We did one, I did one for North St. Louis County Habitat for Humanity.
Was there one for AEOA too, a deed that was supposed to be?
Habitat for Humanity sounds like we're talking about the same one.
Okay, all right.
I sent that over August 8th. Did that deed get?
Like Habitat's on South Third. Wondering,
It's just Lot 7 Fields addition to Aurora.
did you send it to like city clerk by chance?
I went to Lindsay.
Yeah, I think that everything's solved, but I guess I don't know for sure. Yeah.
All right, well, I was just doing thought that I had.
And I think
Yeah,
yeah,
AEOA is different.
different,
I thought so.
yeah. So,
There was a St. Louis County one that was conveyed to the city that the city needed to convey to AUA so they could renovate.
that, yeah, for that one.
That's
Yeah.
one.
Okay.
And that's Joel, correct?
Right.
Yeah, so that's, yeah, that's
Right.
not.
Well,
So we got that one done too?
he talks to him once in a while. So-
So, I'm not, is that one done? The AEOA one?
I believe, that's the one outstanding, I think I am, but
Oh, I sent it over to this one.
that one's different, that's not AEOA,
Right.
correct? That's yes, that
But
one's
did
done.
this one get
Yes.
recorded?
I believe so, yes. I would have to verify, but yes. I think the only one that's currently out there is the one that Joel's working on with AEOA.
Yeah, just so it's on the radar screen. Okay, that's good. We already had Jen's report, and I believe that's the end of the attorney's report. Right?
Yeah.
Yep, all right. Josh said he wasn't going to be here. We do have Mary Malari from HRA to talk on their request for a renewal of levy. Is that okay? That not messing anything up? All right, so.
This is, I'm Mary Malari, Chair of the HRA, and this is our annual yearly review of what we've been doing, what we propose that we're going to be doing, and also to request a levy for 2026. You received our budget, our proposed budget for 2026 in your packets, and I'd like to hold that discussion toward the end because I'll be discussing some parts of that in our review. The first topic is the Neighborhood Revitalization Mini Grant Program. This is our 5th year, and we sent this year a grant information postcard to every household in Aurora, hoping to get more new applicants and people informed on this program. We increased the time for getting the work done from 60 to 90 days. And of the 9 grants we approved, 6 have been completed and the homeowners have been paid. We intend to offer that same program for 2026, and we've applied for an IRRR matching grant for next year. This would allow us to give at least 20 more if we decide to do that. We plan to do another mailing. We hope to make a presentation at the Volunteer Appreciation event in April, and we hope to order yard signs so that the homes that have grants given to them would have a marker for a period of time that they're working. And we'll offer also volunteer assistance. We find that some of the seniors especially need some help with the application, preparing everything, and so we have people who have volunteered to help with that. And from the levy, the largest amount from that levy is used for this grant program. Then we have the North Main Business Center, sometimes known as the Union Hall. And this year, again, it's still the elephant in the room, but we may have a more positive report about that building very shortly. But we prepared the budget assuming that nothing has happened yet. So we have money in that budget for potential costs that we might encounter. Some of those would be reduced if the building is no longer our responsibility, but up until then we need to keep monies in a fund so that we can make necessary repairs and maintenance. We
And you have
continue,
to also heat it and insurance?
yeah, heat, electricity, and insurance, regardless. We continue to hold $40,000 as the North Main Business Developmental Project, which was the fund set up for the East Range Market that we, of course, did not give out, potentially could give out to another buyer of the building. With the help of Vivid Designs, we did a brochure presenting Aurora as a good place to work, live, and have a business, and our mini grant program is included in that as well. Very recently, and thanks to your resolution for us, we were approved as a participant for the North Shore Development Company, and we will receive a year of free assistance and guidance from them regarding housing. And we would like to focus on senior housing. And so we've had an initial meeting. Tim Salo and I met with the 2 company representatives. We're going to put together a group of local stakeholders, and the development people are doing at this time a deep dive on Aurora. So they're studying the town and all kinds of things, so the blight ordinance, zoning, all kinds of things. And we'll have a stakeholders meeting, and then we'll be involved in what we can do to get senior housing going. So thank you for signing that resolution. Our members attend regularly scheduled housing programs, and Mary Lockwood has been the representative for the Minnesota Housing Institute. Now the levy. According to St. Louis County, the total levy amount for 2026 for the HRA would be $18,115.76, which is 0.000185 of the city of Aurora's taxable market value as allowed by state statute. And just to repeat, this is our only way to get any money. And we would like to make sure we have some funds that we can give to other businesses that come in that need support for going. So that's a brief review. Do you have any questions? And John, you may want to add things as well. John is our city liaison from the HR.
I think you covered it. I mean, I think the biggest expense is, you know, the heating and the insurance and all that sort of thing. So if that were to change, that'd be great. If, if it doesn't, it doesn't.
We budgeted $6,000 last year, but I think at this point we've already spent over $7,000 on basics. You know, the heat has been down to minimum that we can have it at, but there are still costs to that. So, any other questions? You'll have an opportunity to vote on this resolution in your official
it's,
meeting.
Agenda item 18.11, proposed resolution there. I assume since we're not in an action mode, we probably just hold off that vote until we're on that part of the agenda. Any other questions? All right, if not, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so other volunteers to go. Administrator updates on what's been consuming time, or
Working on most of the projects this summer. I do have had a talk with staff member from IRRR earlier today. We've got a $500,000 grant request into the IRRR Public Works grant program that is on track to go to the September 25th IRRR board meeting for approval. I haven't seen any issues with that, and I've got a call scheduled tomorrow with Jeff Anderson from Costing Group to go over some of the projects, some of the questions that the council had previously when Jeff came to our meeting earlier this summer.
so that $500,000 would be for what purpose?
It is to go towards basically our costs with the Casal 100 project. We've got the county's funding on their project, the Aurora funding and the Safe Routes to School funding all kind of stacked, and that's going in as a match for that IRRR money. So kind of combining those programs in one application gives us a little better stance to go and get a $500,000 is on the upper end of what an IRRR grant would be.
Yeah.
Pretty high.
That'd be nice. It's not money we're counting on yet, right? So,
And I've been working with the HRA on their project, trying to get something going in that old Union Hall building. That's been taking a fair amount of time.
yep, it sounds like. Anything from the deputy clerk's world?
No, I think we'll have more to come on the agenda, but the order on South 6th Street, Jeff and I were interrupted when we had talked about that more, but we will have a couple of correspondence for you guys regarding where the council sat, being that there's only one person on council currently. That was a part of that decision, so we have a couple meeting minutes that I printed regarding where we sat on that, but that is put back on old business due to a couple pressing matters that need to be addressed. So hopefully with a little summary of background of what happened there and what kind of where that was left off will hopefully determine what we decide as a council tonight.
Yeah, that was, what, 2019?
2021.
2021.
Yeah.
Last up. So that was right in Dan's backyard, so he was always on top of it right there. So let's see. We could look at our agenda items, just see if there's anything that strikes us as worthy of discussion beforehand. Some of these are just, I assume, in for informational, like on the iWorks and the Revise website, or
Those are that's for council decision. iWorks is a proposal of a software, and actually hopefully Jeff can speak a little bit more about this, but it's something that we were demoed about 2 years ago that I brought to council that was ultimately denied due to the price, but it was brought up again when we had the changeover from the blight officer being Jordan Horonsky to now Michelle Epps. So this is just something that would hold the documents that she is currently doing by hand. It's something that Biwabic currently uses. When I was proposed this originally, they actually called me to say Biwabic has it. So I informed them that Biwabic is very close to me, and that's interesting to know. So I had actually talked to Jeff years ago asking about their usage of it. So I talked to Jeff currently now internally to see, kind of get his opinion on if it was, worth it. And it is very nice. Every time I've been demoed it, of course, they're salespeople, so they do a great job of selling it to me. But it is something that I seriously think would help internally what we currently have, as well as the blight officer and potentially other people, now the blight committee, to help with enforcement of that, and planning and zoning commission specifically. So.
And I've worked with a few different modules from iWork. They got a pretty broad suite of software products. On this one specifically, when you're looking at the code enforcement permit management, it's very important for all that stuff to be accurate as we're dealing with violations and property. So the way this software interfaces with the GIS system and everything like that to make sure you're getting the correct owner, and then when you're citing the ordinance on what the violations are, getting all of the sections of the ordinance straight, because when you're dealing with these property issues, you do wind up with potential to assess costs against that property, which may go into a tax forfeit or something like that. And there might be something months or years down the road that really requires all of those ducks to be in a row, and having a letter wrong or a clause in the ordinance wrong is going to kind of throw the whole thing out. So this really helps with being accurate and having all that stored in there on what violations this property had, what was done, when were they contacted, all that stuff, and it keeps it in one place. And it's in Biwabic, we really liked having that function.
Is there any kind of a citizen survey? I'm thinking of your community engagement committee. It might be interesting to find out how the citizens of Biwabic find it a useful tool or not. Right?
This is more internal than citizen work tool, isn't it? Not a state tool. Yeah, this is more internal use instead of the citizen.
Well, workers to use, not the community.
Right, but isn't there one of the modules is that people put in their complaints into the system itself, and then it gets assigned to Public Works?
That is a possibility, that you can open it up and then people can do complaints that way. It doesn't have to be, but there's the citizen input on, could be nuisance complaints or something like that, could be potholes, all that type of stuff, which you can kind of pick and choose which features you want to purchase and which ones you want to use.
Okay, so Biwabic hasn't used the one that essentially invites citizens to make complaints online.
Biwabic has used that.
Oh, okay.
And there's pros and cons of using that, but that is an option that's out there as well.
Isn't that feature available on the Home's website?
I don't think I looked at complaints per se, but I think where they're able to fill out the forms, specifically I was thinking for the planning portion of things or zoning portion of things, but I suppose I could reach out to them regarding the complaints portion. We do have that section on our website.
Because it says communication center apps. I don't know if that.
Yeah, I think that was more or less like they can do their permit online. But we can verify that for sure.
Mason, you're still early stages of your committee to try and figure out what.
So that's where I guess my question is: are there other apps or softwares out there that instead of having two different companies like this, where we can maybe jointly use something and have one centralized command center for all of this versus this company here, this company there? You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yes. And
With more of that community engagement side of things?
And you certainly want to make that decision early on.
Right.
I'm not sure if there's some to pick a lane right now, but you could very easily get into 8 different softwares like this for different things. I know in Biwabic we had started out with certain modules from iWork and added others as they came on. So you wouldn't want to go too far until you decided that there was the one you wanted to go for. In the ones that we had looked at in test drove, isn't a whole lot of variation. They're all kind of differently packaged. I tend to refer to them as reformatted Excel, which is largely a lot of software is out there. It's kind of the user interface and stuff like that. But I didn't see a whole lot of variation on. But I work at Workwell and by Wabic. I know there was others in the area that
As long as there's a real,
other colleagues using it.
as long as it's a real field testing type things, again, it seems to me it'd be logical to ask citizens, you know, what impressions or what situation they use. The other one, the employees, you know, are they tired of hearing beep, beep, beep of, you know, endless projects, or tasks coming up? I don't know. Yeah, but it certainly ties in. It seems to me engagement's two ways. One's information, the other one's them getting feedback to us, right? So.
Well, it isn't revised one, that's basically a new city website, correct?
That is the current company that we use for our website. When it was brought up from comments at a council meeting that it wasn't very user friendly, nor was it made for phone usage, our website. So I had called them and ultimately they kind of did a review with me and sat down and they said, well, and there's two other things we have to comply with as well. January 1st, 2026, we have to have our website be ADA compliant, which is pretty broad because we already do have our website is ADA compliant, then it has specific areas that we need to meet. And then January 1st, 2027, we have to have a .gov, which is actually relatively simple, but they would do all of this in one fell swoop. So this was me bringing those two things, as well as the fact that our website is not user-friendly, nor is it user-friendly on iPhones or any phones. So this was them kind of giving they reviewed our website and then came up with this. So ultimately different. In terms of the piece for iWorks, separate, maybe I should have separated them on the agenda, I apologize, now realizing. But there is a piece on the iWorks where they said you can put a little module, which I believe is what Wabic has. I think it's just a little blip on their website, like you can, but it does ultimately still redirect to iWorks, correct? It's not through your website,
Yep.
yes. So it's just a little, which is similar to like what we have for our utility bill pay right now. It is not our website, but we have a link on our website right to theirs. So
We spent a lot of money on GIS locational research for the infrastructure, right? Does that dovetail? I know they were talking about loading ARC files and everything else into this one. Do we save any money by what we've done already?
Jeff, do you?
I don't think there's any cost savings, but it's going to use that same database to populate the owner fields and stuff like that.
Seems like we did a really bold effort to use that GIS information, and to be ashamed to pay for it twice.
Well, I
From
don't think we have to pay
staff-
for it twice. I think it'll pull in that information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think this is just an interface that makes it easier for end users to use, the way I read it.
Yes,
Yeah.
and so from staff perspective, if we ever have a lawsuit again where we are required, and our attorney will preface this as well, with every litigation that we go into, you have to record. So this software too, this is in one place. We were very fortunate that our prior blight officer was very good at keeping record.
Yeah.
So we, in that case, it was very easy. It was all, he had all of it documented all in one place, but ultimately it was not something accessible to me. I had to, pull from him, whereas this would all be in one place. We all would have access.
And if
So
we had turnover in the position again, we're building
Correct.
up the database.
Yep, so when I call Mike to say, hey, I need you here, you would say, send me the documents, and I just log in and send him the files, so.
What's the backup saving on that?
I don't know.
I'm gonna say, because if that's not backed up right,
Yes, right.
it's always something I look at.
I would assume, they always say the cloud.
I know
I
the
never know
cloud,
what that
but yeah,
means,
so
yeah.
I'm just wondering
Yes.
if it's cloud saving.
I can, yeah.
And,
Challenge.
Council Berkowitz, how far are you along in your engagement committee? Just still a concept, or?
Well, ideally, we're gonna be trying to narrow down, come up with the mission statement goals, and try to start figuring out what the committee actually needs to focus on going forward with that. I have, there was an app that I keep getting emails about that I demoed to look at, but it's completely different from any of this stuff. It's actually like an actual community engagement app. So that's the thing where I'm asking, you know, how much of this can integrate into those kinds of things, and where we look into more one company that can do some of these other things for us instead of having this one, and possibly something else in addition to it.
It just seems to me that as long as you've got that initiative going, these look like potential tools, but it might be nice to have some deep dive to kind of see. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, but if you come up with a tool that works, my understanding is, correct me if I'm wrong, that there could just be a little icon in the corner that a person could click on, and that would connect them. So even though it's 3 different tools, it only looks like one interface.
Right. No, I understand that. I'm looking at more from cost perspectives.
Yeah.
Because usually when you bundle with one company, you end up saving money over time versus that's the only reason I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
And,
Well,
and just asking if that's a thing. I know when you guys went to the League of Minnesota Cities, I'm sure that there were a lot of different companies that were demoing out there, and seeing if there was anything else that you guys happened to pick up on or see.
Yeah, not that I'm aware of where these 2 companies would necessarily intertwine, not the ones proposed today. Jeff, I would rely on you if there's one that.
And I don't want to mix up the names and the programs, but it seemed like for a while there, some of these programs were acquiring some of the other programs and
Right.
kind of consult, which happens with software frequently. So I can't remember which ones were acquired by which, but I know that has happened. That the app where you take a picture of a pothole and send it in was acquired by another one, so it's not just a standalone.
yeah, so the items that are on our agenda, number 1, could be action items,
Yeah,
but they also could, are they time sensitive in the sense that if Councilor Berthwitz gets her committee going, we can start getting some channeled feedback from the committee in this? Or what, if we defer it a little bit?
Yeah, that's
I
fine.
mean, I noticed the one, I think it's on iWorks, is a contract that runs from January 1st. Right?
Yeah, we had, I actually had Planning and Zoning's council liaison with me when we actually demoed this for a second time now. But, so Councilor Hess had sat in with me to get a good understanding, so it's not just my perspective seeing the softwares. So we would annually budget. We did ask them, could this be something that we postpone until January 1st of the next year? So it'd just be something that would come out of Planning and Zoning's budget, we would, and then annually budget for that. And he did say we could put some down this year, so he could start, correct me if I'm wrong, but so he could start preparing it so it's active and live January 1st.
Councilor Hess, what was your impression?
I think it's a good deal myself, but what I see, the only thing is that we wouldn't start building till January, but from this point to January, they'd put all the information in for no charge, or, so it's, you'd get a little jump on it, so come January, it would all be there. I did see it as a useful tool for planning and zoning and also for Blake.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that there's other sections we could plug into it later.
Yeah, that's, I mean, seeing here, there's investing feature for American citizens, like there's,
I'm looking at the back of
yeah,
Citizen Center,
yeah,
Communication Center
yeah.
with Revive.
Yeah, it's, I mean, they both seem to have those functions, it's just what
Right.
about.
Well, if we sign up, we're signing up for 3 years, right? Isn't that what I understand?
That's good, that was the.
No, I believe this is, no,
Oh,
I hope that was 3 years, I work.
website agreement was 3 years, and the iWorks.
I would have to review, but I believe so, yes.
I thought
Yeah.
that's how I understood. Yeah, because I just signed a 3-year contract with Revive, so.
Yeah, I believe it was 3 years.
He thought the iWorks was a 3-year
Okay,
contract,
well-
so that stuff is-
Oh, iWork is 3 for sure. Oh, okay, sorry. iWork is 3, and then, Richard and I did both ask. Richard and I did ask, and we wanted to be sure, because originally they had said that iWorks is actually, the price is based on population itself. So we did indicate that we have more housing development, and obviously as a city you want to grow. So we did ask, in terms of locking in the price, and he said with 90% certainty, this would not change rapidly by any means. And then I did indicate we have housing development coming, and he said, so far since I've been here, and I think he said in 10 years, he has not seen a change that's drastic by any means when they see developments in cities.
Okay, I think we've reached the hour of 5:30, so I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Moved by Councilor Clausic, supported by Councilor Hanson. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Stand adjourned for a minute or two.
I have to grab documents for those actions.
I think that, zoning thing is good too.
Get on with the show without private meetings later.
Let's see. I suppose we gotta wait for,
Then just getting meeting.
Yeah, it's still been for the closed session. Stuff.
what's this?
I think it's some private property stuff.
Oh. So can we just go ahead?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's recorded.
Because it's being recorded and televised. We're monitoring your every footstep.
I'm sure. But then, that's what's over.
So we're okay to go ahead and start?
Yep.
All right. All right, it's Tuesday, September 2nd, 2025. We're at the City Town Government Center in the council chambers. It's 5:30, and this is our regular meeting of the month for the Aurora City Council. So I'll call the meeting to order. Could we have a roll call, please?
Gregor,
Here.
Bergquist, here, Hanson,
Here.
Hess, and Clausich.
Here. Full council present. We stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, turning back to our agenda. Agenda item 4 is the consent agenda. This is the portion of the meeting agenda which has certain asterisks by items that are generally perceived not to be controversial and can therefore be approved in one vote for a number of those items. And as the tradition of the council is, does anyone have any items on the consent agenda that they'd like removed for separate discussion?
There just needs to be a correction on one of the minutes.
Just a correction on?
One of the minutes, yeah.
No, is it,
August 20th says that we met for the purpose of filling the vacant city council position instead of the city administrator position.
oh, okay, that's an important correction.
Yes.
So perhaps we could just approve the consent agenda with that editing? Deputy Clerk, does that seem?
With that correction.
Yeah, with that correction. So, with that correction, Councillor Berquist moves adoption of the consent agenda. Is there support?
I'll support it.
Supported by Councillor Hanson. Any other items that should be separately considered? Concerns on the agenda? If not, all those in favor of the motion to adopt the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And our consent agenda is adopted. Moving on to, let's see, section 10 of the agenda are appearances, public forums. I know you go out in Toronto here. Do you wish to speak to the council at all? Or
If
you're-
you can, just a quick minute, Mr. Mayor, you know, if you can address
All
a
right,
few
you just
issues.
identify yourself for the record.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and City Council. My name is Tom Den. Our corporation or our company is developing the Union Hall to open the supermarket. We been having some issues with the city attorney, Lewicki, trying to finish our forms up or even look at our forms to sign off on it. We're on week 2 now. We had staff here over the Labor Day holiday actually working without any access, which our Thursday meeting with Mr. Mayor, you know, and I get it's not the city, it's the attorney not being able to have time to look at it. But time, it's a sensitive issue for us to get in there to get this supermarket open before the first snow, so we can start our delivery runs for the seniors in the community. As of right now, we need access this weekend, and I get that. There's delays. I spoke with the city administrator over in Hoy Lakes. He also said that Mr. Lewicki's taken 4 weeks just for one page to be signed. So it's not you that only the city of Aurora, but Hoy Lakes is also having the same issues. I don't know if you, the council member, actually know me at all. I grew up here in this town. The town actually took care of my family for a long, long time. I'm back to help what I can get this grocery store open. A simple delay like that in development terms costs huge time for us, restraints for us. We're not in California where we have snowfalls that will delay our work. But now, you know, we're coming really close to winter, and if we can't get this looked at and signed, we're stretched back until I was told Thursday for even the attorneys to look at it, and then even Thursday, then by the time it gets back to you guys to sign, we're in the following week. I don't live in the state. I'm here for a very limited amount of time. My protege, Johan Winkler, his family's also been in this community a long time. Just hoping that, Mr. Mayor, that we can find a solution for this and get us those keys. We have to start cleaning, or we have to at least start planning to get in that building to start working. Pushing us back 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever the case is. I mean, we were told they went to the Lewicki 3 weeks ago, or he would start doing something. Our legal team had to write up the contract, and I know, Doug, you, Mr. Mayor, you went through and did a lot for it and got it done, but now we're at the point where we have merchandise coming, we have equipment coming, we have multiple buildings we're working on, and I know that we're still in negotiation with IRRR, and we're just trying to find a way to quickly get in there to start. Our hopes were to open September 15th, this September 15th, 2 weeks from today, or, you know. So that was our best hopes, that we hadn't released anybody, but now we're looking, just because it's 2 weeks delay, it's because of the delay, we can't get on this flooring, or can't get in there to work, or some sort of progress in there. We're okay with just, need no access to, you know, we just want to get this done. And I know that the council is with me and the town is with me, that, hey, we just want the supermarket in. So if we can urge, go ahead, I'm
No,
sorry.
I'm just going to say, I think the question reviewing the draft of right of entry.
Yes, sir. Yeah, yes, Mr. Mayor.
On the target for maybe tomorrow, the
Well,
latest.
Thursday, Mr. Lewicki, in fairness to him not being here, he was with his family in Yellowstone for a week and a half before school started. I've indicated before, we had 6 lawyers, we're down to 2, and things are taking more time. So, but we will look at it, the first I heard of it was tonight, so I'll talk to Mr. Lewicki, either he or I will review it and get it done by Thursday.
Thank you, sir. So, like I said, I don't live in the state, and I actually have to come specifically do certain things, certain staff to get here, so that it's important for the town. I believe it's important for the town that we get this in, get our equipment in, and start some kind of progress.
The HRA is already pre-authorized.
Yes, Mr. Mayor,
They're
HR.
there to sign it,
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
contingent upon the review by the attorney.
So, yeah, I did not know that your law firms didn't know anything about this.
Well, I made it went to Mr. Lewicki, but he's been gone for a week and a half. He just came back, and
Okay.
I can tell you what his desk looks like.
Okay. So like I said, well, I hate to come up here and say, you know, I would like to do it, you know, just to get it done. I'm hoping that the council is with us to try to get the city attorney to review and for us to sign it as quickly as possible.
I think we're on the same page with you trying to do it and just trying to be responsible. But it sounds like if we
It makes sense now that.
execute it on Thursday, that won't throw you off too much more. Yeah, so, yeah.
Yeah, that one's fine. Let's everybody know that we had staff in town all weekend long. You know, work, I mean, it's just idle here, you know, it comes through our LLC's expenses. Anything that we have to charge that's not necessary just gets passed on to the consumer, which I don't want to do. So, I believe Mike?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, if we can do that and have the keys in our hands by Thursday, I think, I mean, I would appreciate the council and the rest of the city would like to have that happen, and then we can then move forward. Okay, now we can get our contractors in and everybody else that needs to get done. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
I'm glad you were able to introduce yourself,
Yeah.
both you
Yeah, I'm open to any questions that the council members might have. If not, then.
I just wonder, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't the IRRR involved as well?
They have
a mortgage or something?
They have a mortgage and an assignment of rents and leases from back when the roof, I think, was redone, yeah, many years ago. That's still, those are encumbrances, but what the documents on the table right now is simply authorization to go in for very limited purposes for a limited period of time to help their staging of the whole process. And then the intent would be to look at other funding sources, look at when and how ownership could change and when and how those encumbrances could be dealt with. So, yep, so,
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
well,
Thanks for coming, thanks for the project, we'll get her done.
Thank you, John. You're the voice. I can't hear, so, thank you.
All right, thank you. I don't believe we have anybody else online or anything, right? Like there is, all right, moving on then. We already had our reports from staff members. Moving to agenda item 15, reports from counselors. Councilor Berquist?
Hi. Sure. So Celebrate Aurora, the fire department and library are finalizing plans for Oktoberfest on October 11th. It sounds like we should be watching for flyers soon. I met with Gloria Erickson she's the St. Louis County Firewise Coordinator. She let me know that there's a wildfire resiliency and evacuation event that's going to be hosted by the Range Association of Realtors in White Lakes, also on October 11th. They're going to go over like evacuation planning and insurance documents and things that you should prep when you're getting ready to leave for something like a wildfire. The fire department had 7 fire calls and 10 EMS calls. They're now down to 14 volunteers. There was a resignation. They're still asking that if anybody is interested in learning more about volunteering with the fire department or wants to volunteer, that they reach out to the city or the fire department, or come to the next fire department meeting on the September 11th at the fire hall, find out about it. it's a very valuable and important part of our community, and we need more volunteers for that. I'm meeting with Megan Kennedy and some of the other interested residents for the community engagement group on Thursday at the Hive at 10. If anybody else is interested in finding out what we're trying to get going there, I'd be happy to talk with you guys. Other than that, just good luck to the teachers and students, as today was the first day back to classes for them, and watch for the school traffic that's now going through town and students crossing the highways and roads.
Sounds like a good message to get out there, so thank you, Councilor Berquist, Councilor McGlassie.
Well, from an HRA perspective, Mary covered it in the meeting prior. We are working, and then Tom came in and made a presentation here about what he's up to with the grocery store, so that's good news for the city. As far as the Parks Board, everybody's up to speed on that. We've got the funds from the Caring for the Kids for 2 volleyball courts and a full court basketball court next year. That will be a project that Jeff will be working on and other staff. From the standpoint of the warming house, I talked to AP. They hope to start the cement work the 3rd week of September, but that's not necessarily etched in stone. That's what they're shooting for. So more to come on that. And then finally, I'd like to, I should have done this first, but thank Michelle Epps/Kibbe for her blight work as a mover around town. The town is definitely looking a lot better, and it's a tribute to her and the work that she's been doing.
Just 2 quick items, just another reminder that the Downtown Beautification Committee meets a week from today on the 9th at 9 a.m. And I don't have the link, but they're also, you can Zoom if you can attend and want to find out what's going on. And I too would like to welcome back the students and teachers and staff to
Another exciting year.
hopefully good year of school. Yeah, long year for some, but
Brings back lots of memories. So, that's your report. Okay, yeah, thank you, Councilor Hess.
Not too much, couple items on the agenda. The only other item is, from a police department standpoint, we'll be having a public hearing meeting. We got a class 3 felon in town. Moved in.
Do you know the date of that?
Huh?
Do you know the date of that meeting?
Of the hearing?
Yeah.
We're trying to set it up at the school because we can't at the community center, so
Okay.
it'll be posted, so Jordan's posting it. We're doing right behind me, right next door.
Well, at least we get notice of these things, yeah, it's something there. Anything further, Councilor Hess?
No.
All right, good. Well, the mayor's going to be very short for once. I've been laboring under some medical problems, and we've been hiring new administrators. So those are both urgent matters, which we got taken care of, and now we'll deal with on the agenda, kind of continuing on the city administrator hiring process. But just for those that might be watching, the council did vote on the 20th of August to extend an offer to Jeff Jacobson to move from being an interim to becoming our administrator, and we just have to work on the details of contracting. So, welcome aboard. Okay. And other than that, honestly, I don't think I was able to attend to. We had a good report from our auditor, right? That was something the public, I think, should take note of. It was a real kudos to our clerk treasurer and the auditors of wading through a lot of extraordinary accounting matters associated with all the development projects that are going on. And but the bottom line was, at least what I took away, and I hope the rest of the council did, that the city's in very sound financial shape. We have adequate reserves for whatever is being recommended, and they weren't really cited for anything that every small city doesn't get cited for in audit reports. So the community should be proud of the work that's being done by the administrative staff there to keep all of our T's crossed and I's dotted. So thank you, Kimberly. And that's the mayor's report. Under old business, 17.1 is odor on South Sixth Street, which periodically comes up. Do we have any new information or any historical research on that? Jim?
Yeah, that was the handout that you should have received right in the beginning.
Oh,
I brought this up last meeting. People are complaining about sewer smell again. They put them carbon filters on, that was 3 years ago, and the filter's only good for 6 months. So somebody's dropping the ball here.
are we, the city, supposed to change those out? Or,
I don't know.
we don't know.
I was on the council, I was on the council, he was.
And it was hard to follow in the meeting minutes. There was a committee, but it seems that it's a one-man committee now because it was, you were involved with that, but it was former council members as well, so, and former staff. So it's tough to follow what the committee had said, but ultimately the carbon filters came from that committee's decision.
Nothing was ever decided as to who, do they become private? Are they owned by the
Nothing specified in our records of that, but
It's my recollection of the discussions and frustrations associated with the whole issue came down to we either need a lift station installed at considerable expense in there, which is justified by the collateral development in the area there, or one of the thoughts was to take the residents that's suspected of being a source of some of the odors by the discharge they're having from their home system and putting some kind of a septic system out there, whether in public or otherwise. But the homeowner was not cooperative about that, and I think we, in the interest of trying to do something, had gone with the charcoal filters, which Councilor Hess appropriately pointed out weren't meant to be a long-term solution. They were meant to, first of all, see if they worked at all, right? Do you recall, Councilor Hess?
Well, I wasn't on the council, but I attended all the meetings when this was going on.
Yeah.
And, where the ball got dropped, but got dropped somewhere.
Do we know if the filters work?
That's what I was.
It seems like filters were installed in 2022 and we're now having odor problems again, and this is the first time we're hearing about it again. That maybe they were at least doing some kind of mitigation for it.
the only other reference to this in council meetings is when Councilor Godey would give his updates, which he did indicate almost a year later that the odor was still present.
So the filters are on a holding tank?
No, filters are on your vent.
Vent to see.
Okay, they're not directly connected to the city sewer then? The
No,
Filters.
No, the waistline. Does it go to a holding tank and then to the manhole?
Goes into a manhole, and then the pipe sticks up. It was never, should have never been okayed the way it was built. And what happens is, when their pumps kicks in, they're probably pumping 300 gallons where they should be pumping 10 or 20. It's set too high. So when you pump that much, you're gonna get that smell coming.
Right. And if the longer it sits before you pump it.
Yeah,
Or-
You had
stronger
mentioned,
the odor gets.
you had mentioned too, there wasn't an invert in that manhole.
There is, I guess. I
Oh, there
looked at
is.
a picture and did that.
Okay.
But I don't know what the easiest fix is. Put a holdings. Put a pumping station in, but you're talking big dollars.
Yeah,
Put a
that's-
pumping station, probably talking $200,000-300,000. And then something you gotta maintain all the time.
Right.
The only other option is if you could talk to residents, which is in the minutes here of the meeting, and put a drain field in with the city financing it, that they would pay it back. If they got everything there except for a drain field.
Yeah. And there is a lot, if I recall correctly, a city lot. Isn't there, near where we just abandoned that platted street, wasn't there a city lot adjacent to that? Or not? Remember?
There's a lot next to it now. That's one that was sold. I think it's up for sale right now.
We have that very large easement that was drafted after that,
Yeah.
yes, vacancy was done.
Well, I mean, we are the city, we could take forceful action at some point in time, to whether it's to establish a septic system and require the discharge into it or
Well,
otherwise.
the
But,
bad part about this whole deal is there's one of the neighbors over there, she's putting her house up for sale, and
Yeah.
you don't need this to for the sale of her house.
No.
You know,
Maybe if we approach, the city approaches the homeowner first, just to see if they could, change the setting on their pump so it pumps more often.
see, I don't know who talked to her before, but I got pretty upset last time, so I don't know what was said.
How long is the run? Is the installation of just a grinder pump and then run that out to the main an option?
It's running into the main right now.
Out of what?
So,
Out of
out of a holding tank.
So it's being pumped from the holding tank to the,
It's pumping from their holding tank
yep,
to a catch basin, which we pushed a pipe up that catch basin. The only other thing we could do is probably take some 2-inch plastic, black plastic that's in rolls that you can roll and push it farther up that line to the first, whoever the first hookup is, and hook it to there. That would get that smell farther up the line. It wouldn't be going into that catch basin at all. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Well, we have some experiences, obviously, individually and as a council, but I guess I tend to think that we ought to be presented with some kind of professional from the engineer, some options, Again,
I thought we
maybe,
had somebody look at it and gave the recommendations.
I think Josh looked at it before. Josh had pictures of that manhole he showed me last Monday.
I think we should get that information provided to council and revisit it. But it's not a quick fix, it's been a very expensive fix that the county, that the city chose not to do way back when, and then, okayed the system that they put in there, and, here's where we are.
that was at a whisper and a prayer, I think.
Well,
how long of a run is it from the house to the closest main?
Probably 250 feet.
Because there's like if you picture the east side of Y7 Lake, like they're on a low pressure system,
right.
which pumps into which also goes into a low pressure main. But there is ways to just use that grinder pump it out to a gravity main as long as you're pumping it so it goes downhill. You add the pump and maintenance cost, but we've used it also. I mean,
But I mean, they have a pump already on their end. So it's either extending that out farther so it gets to the gravity, a little farther to the gravity, but I don't know. But I think the biggest problem, Jeff, is they're not pumping often enough.
Yep.
Their withholding tank is too big. If it was like a regular sump like you have up there, they're probably 20 gallons, 20 or 30 at the most, and it probably pumps at 15 gallons. Here you're probably pumping 300 gallons, so you're gonna have stuff that's been sitting in there forever.
And probably low use on the house, so it's not turning over quick.
So all this stuff is fermenting, so you get that good smell when it pumps.
My gut tells me that when it comes to handling wastewater, that we have inherently powers to deal with problem situations. I don't know that it always has to be at the public's cost of $250,000 lift station. I don't know, it strikes me that, do you have any impression, council, of the limits of what a city can do?
Well, we do lots of stuff, be involved in litigation, and, there is no guarantee just based on the track record of the city's action,
And the thing is, the city's been letting it do it for 5-6 years.
How long has it been in that system?
5-6 years, I would say.
Yeah, because if the tank hasn't been cleaned in that period of time, that's contributing it too.
Right.
Maybe if a kind of a joint solution, maybe the city could offer to
Pump the tank.
pump and clean the tank, if the homeowner would then readjust their float mechanism so it does pump more often. That may
Well, if somebody will write the letter up, I'll sign it, that's for sure, but I don't, my general impression coming away from that, the homeowner did not take responsibility for the problem. No. It was just sort of other people could deal with it.
Well, they were told they could put it in that way, so.
Well,
Yeah,
Get the
right.
other side.
That was where the mistake was.
Right.
right. So, but the question is, so the city did approve their plans originally, but if it became was there any contingency on that original approval? Like, or is there anything where we can go back and say, well, it was approved based on this, and that was already a contingency, because don't we have an ordinance that says that all houses must be connected to the sewer system? So is there anything we can do that way, that this is kind of a variance as it is, and this has now become a problem where we have to go back and we need to fix this?
Yeah, I haven't looked at it in a long time, but it's, then it started, Wayne had said, should add the lift station way back when, and the city chose not to do it, and
Okay, so then the next question is, because there are a couple of developable lots that are for sale near this area, is it worth pursuing a lift station at that point? There is grant funding available. Is there still grant funding available through the IRRR to install things like lift stations? I believe the East Range Joint Powers Board meeting
Yeah, that
looked
would
like
be
there was
something to
something.
go after, and we do have other projects that we can compete with. And I don't know if we can expect a dip, but I know the last few lift station projects I was involved in, the price was just
Crazy.
ridiculously high, and then next time you looked at it, it was ridiculously higher than that. The prices were just going through the roof.
I'm sure you're looking anywhere from $300,000 to $500,000.
Right, but again,
For one house.
if we have the, right, but there are empty lots that are for sale that are
I think that's
buildable.
only-
So then there's the potential of other houses that still don't have sewer, and we're running into the same kind of issue.
And we don't think the homeowner would work with us at all. I mean,
Well, I mean,
I think the first attempt is, can we
Yeah.
pump more off?
I think if we went with some alternative means to address or resolve the problem and said, can you help us at doing any one of these? It seems to me more fruitful than just coming up and saying, there's a problem here, can you solve it? Kind of a thing.
So to move this along, can we have the city engineer come up with a couple of options? And then we see if we can work with the resident to see if they would be amenable to any of those?
I'd like to talk to Josh too and see if we can run a pipe farther up the line.
Yeah.
We can run PEX type pipe up the line, and that's something that's flexible, so you can push.
Geographically, I take it the differences in elevations are such, you couldn't just run a line from the house into the sewer system.
That's a long run.
Yeah, okay.
For one
In the
service.
wrong way.
I'm not sure if this is what went into it, but it looks familiar. The reference of a financial assistance and then talking about a special assessment or something, that's been kind of standard practice at the county level for years. That was taken from or not, but when people have septic tank that fails or something like that, they do essentially a 0% interest loan in the form of a special assessment to redo the septic. So it seems like that kind of mirrors that program or that method. So.
Well, that's kind of what was brought up here
Yeah.
before that was decided with that meeting.
Well, let's hear something from the engineer and anybody else that wants to go with me and we can talk to the homeowner. I don't have any hesitancy. I don't think they're violent, they're just viewed as their problem.
I did get the information from the engineer first, and then as a council,
Right.
proceed with what course.
Yep. Okay, should we officially table this then?
We can make a motion to have the engineer look at it again.
I'll make that
I'll make a
motion.
motion.
I'll support it.
Moved by Councilor Hess, supported by Councilor Clausage. Further discussion on the motion? Not all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we'll move on to new business. 18.1. What's going on?
Thunderstorm.
Oh, if that's all. Okay, very good. sounded more violent. Celebrate Aurora, the Pumpkin Fest requests. I assume those have gone through Public Works and everything seems manageable. Deputy clerk's saying yes, the administrator, we're all set to go. So then I think they want us to officially adopt their proposed plan, right? For the, it's mainly related to the decorations, right?
Street closures and such, work on, exact same as last year, so.
All right. So is there a motion to approve and authorize the preparations for the Pumpkin Fest?
I'll make a motion.
Moved by Council Berquist, supported by Council Hanson. Any further discussion?
I got a question. We want to put cleanup charge on this because July after 4th of July, they left it in such a mess. Committee did. Russ had a heck of a time cleaning it up.
You're talking about the center, city center.
They should make a big cleaning deposit if they don't clean it up. Then
Lindsay, is that something that the Pumpkin Fest usually does?
Celebrate Aurora has not historically done the damage deposit, but they were told, based on city staff recommendation, that they will have to do that going forward after the incident from the 4th of July.
Okay, so putting a deposit down wouldn't be a surprise.
Okay.
Is the dollar amount?
It's a $400 damage deposit.
the same was done for Sapanchits for their music festival. She left the same mess too.
All right. So the motion stands coupled with the requirement that they pay for the cleanup costs.
Well, no, they put a $400 deposit.
Deposit.
$400 deposit. All right, any further discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. 18.2, the sewer repair issue that came up to us before. What's the update on that?
I brought this up last meeting.
Yeah, right.
A&W got a charge of $9,100 for fixing their sewer. They're part of the sewer. They had a Powder River got their bit stuck. Winger come and opened up the sewer and got it out. At the same time, Winger found a manhole that goes into the manhole was full of sand. Sand did not come from the A&W. The other line goes to the car wash. City of Aurora says it is their manhole. Well, it is their manhole. I don't care what they say. Because it connects from there. So Winger had to bring in a vacuum truck to clean all the sand out. And also, somebody to jet it out so they could fuel it. They jetted it clear to the next manhole. And they got a hold of the fire truck and they flushed the whole line out, so it's all good. I don't feel that the A&W should be billed for the whole bill of $9,100. My gut feeling is that we should split that bill 3 ways. Part of it should go to the car wash because we definitely know that's where the sand come from. Other third should be paid by A&W, and the city should pick up the third for jetting their line and cleaning the manhole out.
So the city paid for the costs of doing
The
their
city paid for nothing.
paid for nothing. All right, who is the customer then?
A&W paid the bill of $9,100.
Are we wading into waters here, council? That
Well, I don't know who, I'm assuming A&W had a problem and contacted the contractor, and the contractor came and fixed the problem. I mean, I think what the city can make a contribution, obviously, towards that, but I don't think the city can order the car wash to do it. I think that would be A&W.
Well, the trouble is, the car wash isn't doing their thing either, and I talked to Jimmer about that, but he should have went over there and run some water from the car wash, but he wouldn't do it. When Harry Oxford owned that car wash, he used to bring a vacuum truck in and clean out the pits. And I don't think that's been done since he sold it. That's where that sand is coming from. It's going over the flow line. So
I'm not disputing that, but it's hard for the city to assess part of it towards the.
Well, I don't feel that A&W should be assessed either, but
So we,
Their
If
part.
the city wanted to pay the whole thing, reimburse A&W, most certainly can do that.
so these are our manholes, you're saying, right?
well, connected to our city sewer, I'm sure they're always. There was no cover on it, but the city seemed to put one on it now.
Well, the sand trap in the
Carl.
car wash, because it's hooked to the sewer, needs to be maintained by the owner. And I think the city can regularly inspect that or see a receipt for, yeah, we had it cleaned on such and such. So that going forward, and the new owners may not even know it's there.
Yeah. But that's going forward,
Yep.
brought to their attention.
I assume we have $3,100 hanging around someplace that we could use to pay our portion, or?
So when I talked to Jim, it would put him over budget, but he was okay. It wasn't really okay, but he said we could do it, 3,100 from the sewer budget.
Yeah. I guess I'd be inclined to try and work out a solution that going forward does what we were talking about, namely has required inspections and clearly establishes the property owner's liability for sand that goes into the
Public
sewer
sewer.
system. Maybe our ordinances need a tweak. I mean, that certainly, there are other mechanical operation places that have sand traps, right?
Or grease traps.
Or
in the case
grease
of a
traps.
restaurant, yep.
Well, I think, yeah, we have to make it a minimum, if knowing that on an annual basis, we need to adjust something.
Yeah.
We need to review that, and I think we could ask the car wash if they would be willing to, but we can't mandate that they pay for it.
Well, if they had, Richard knows more than I do about the car wash thing. What did Oxford do? He vacuumed out the
Yeah,
sand.
A Plus used to come over with their vacuum truck and clean out all the pits, so we didn't have that problem.
Yeah.
The pits are made of like, pumps that when overflow, the water goes over and the sand stays.
Yeah.
Well, it gets so full that the sand just goes with it, and that's what's happening.
What's it up?
I'll bet you if you go there now and pull that cover off that manhole, there's sand.
And now with the season, the way it is, with A&W closing soon, and the real sandy season coming for the car wash, we could have the same problem a year from now when the A&W opens again.
A&W, since they've owned it, they've jetted their line every year. That's because Sandy owned it before it did it, so they've just always done it. Well, I don't think when they jetted their line, it did any good. I think it went right inside that manhole and went wrong.
Oh, it's swirled.
Yeah. So when they were bringing it out, about, I don't know, 8 feet from the manhole, caught a clay tile and it got stuck there. So they didn't want to break the bit in the machine, so they had Corey come and dig it. Well, he's not even close to the manhole, so when he's putting a new piece of pipe, he went right to the manhole, so everything was new. So now they have a clean out by their building too, so they can clean it out. I just can't see them getting caught with the whole bill.
I'm kind of sympathetic to going over the 3,100 mainly because I think we dropped the ball. I mean, we should be, this is not a new industry or a new problem. We should have ordinances that impose the liabilities on property owners that create those kind of hazards or nuisances into our system. But hindsight's 2020. I'd go along with the 3,100 if we can come up with that, but I don't want it to be a one-off. I think we ought to look at our ordinances, tighten them up, notify the property owner, tell them this isn't going to happen again, and they're going to be, if we have to go to small claims court or whatever, we'll get it one way or another. So
Well, I think once all those are identified, if we've got others, now I don't know if that would be Jim's responsibility or if he could, but then once you identify them, you could set up, just say once a year, you could have a light officer or whoever go and inspect them if they're not, or tell the owners, you are responsible, we expect to see a receipt once a year that it's been cleaned. So you don't put it into our lines.
The way it's set up right now, you could just go there and pull the cover off and see if there's.
Right, you can tell.
What I was gonna say is, don't they have to apply for a business license every year?
There's
They're just.
There's 2 discharges that come out of that car wash. This must be from the original, and then when the automatic was put in, there's another drain. on the
So
north-
do
So
do
they
the
get-
offending businesses, in line with what Councilor Berquist is saying, are they all required to get annual licenses?
No, that's a home business license, those are commercial businesses.
All right.
So-
So that isn't gonna work.
And I don't know necessarily if this would have solved it or if this what caused it, but if you look on the city's GIS program, this one doesn't show up on there. And, you know, the whole process of when you accept a manhole or a sewer line is, there isn't really a manual for that.
Can't believe it ain't on there because it was underground. Somebody had to know it was put in when originally.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, the green stops more up by the tracks and then those lines go south down to a manhole and then they go up. So getting it into the system, so when JNR Wastewater or whoever comes through and does the jetting and televising, at least gets it into the line to be inspected. And I don't know if they necessarily use that line to come up with the work orders either, but it's identifying as a structure that needs inspection seems like a logical
Well,
first
with
step.
with the new iWork program, see, then we just put them as an annual responsibility.
In fact, it would auto-generate for us, from my understanding.
There we
from
go.
what, Yeah, Jeff had told me.
I think maybe going forward, that we should review our ordinances as regarding traps, be it sand trap, grease trap. I don't know if we have any flammables, but that's another. And so we, you know, if it's not in there, we update it. That way we have we can talk to the different businesses that have traps, like a sand trap in this case.
Oh, I'm sure you've got flammable traps. You'd one at City Garage. I'm sure Lakehead's got one. There's gonna be one down at the new skating shack.
And they're in every community, at every, corner and things, so there shouldn't be a inconceivable problem to get them regulated.
Well, and like you said, they clearly required us to have one at the warming shack. That
Yeah.
was a cost that, I mean, we would have rather gone without that cost, but you gotta have that.
And I think once you make sure your ordinances are updated to specifically address that, then you can go out to the different places and say, we require maintenance.
But I think maybe the new owner didn't know that it was
Right.
vacuumed by every, once a year. or
They must
whatever.
have 2 of them. They must have 2 traps out there. They got 2 different.
2 different days. So I mean, let him know, and if Terry's still around, I don't know, Terry told him when the business transferred, you gotta clean it out. But I've been here a long time, and Richard longer than me, there's never been a problem.
And they're in their second owner since Terry sold it, and it sounds like it's going back to the first one.
All right, so I see 2 issues on the table, basically. One, should we pay the 3,100 as part of a settlement and dealing with the past problem? And secondly, I think I'm sensing a consensus that we want to direct the staff and attorneys to come up with a review of what controls we do have and what we could put in to better impose responsibilities on the parties that own those properties that are offending.
Is that a motion?
Well, all right, we're still sitting there with $3,000 other.
So I have.
Well,
Now you're at 6 and 3.
that may be the A&W's
Richard, I
dog
have-
chase.
Richard, I have one question though. When they found out that the bit was stuck in there, did they contact the city at all to see if there was anything the
I'm
city
sure
could
they
do? But did they? Do we know that they said, hey, we had an issue, they contacted Public Works to see if there was anything we could do on our end before they pulled Winger in to do any work? Because I think that would have been a first step, is that we needed to contact the city when they got it, when it was stuck in the sewer though.
But didn't Jim show up, gentlemen? So the city employee was there.
Was that when
All right. You're getting it back to try to move things along, all right? Again, I think one issue is, does anyone want to make a motion to pay $3,100 knowing what Councilor Esmond said? Doesn't solve the problem. A&W is still on the hook for twice that, right?
Well, can we pay $3,200, whatever, $3,100, and then approach the car wash? Are they even aware of the situation and the cost?
I don't know.
And just say, this was the cost, we're willing to pay this much, would you, I mean, we can ask them. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
they can say no.
Yeah.
It sounds like if it's not an ongoing entity, they'll probably say no. But I mean, I think you gotta ask.
I move the city pays the 3,100 to the A&W and approach the car wash owners with that information.
All right, moved by Councilor Hanson,
I'll support that.
supported by Councilor Clausage. Further discussion on that? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so second part of the question, could we have a motion to direct the staff to review the controls that we have and see what changes might be able to be made for offending properties? I'll make that motion. Moved by Councilor Hess, supported by Councilor Hanson. Further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Moving on to agenda item 18.3, the apprenticeship program combination specialist. Trying to beef up our talents of Mr. Gentilini, right? I would have thought he could teach the course by this time. No?
This is not for Jim, this is for our combination specialist.
Oh,
which is
yes.
Richard Craven.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
I'll make the motion to approve the apprenticeship program.
Moved by Councilor Clausage and
I'll support it.
supported by Councilor Hanson. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
So in effect, Jim is kind of teaching the course that.
Oh, okay. So that's comforting, you know. Better knowledge. All right, moving on to the iWorks planning and zoning software. Just to clarify, so this is the one that would be a 3-year commitment, right?
Yes.
All right. And comes with different modules, some of which have been trial tested in the city of Wabi. What else do we have a startup committee on engaging the community. I personally, as long as we don't lose an opportunity, I'd like to give Ashley's committee a chance to just look at some of the modules, recommend, and come back to us and be a spur to get your committee with a focus for a while.
Can we set a date on that though? So, because
Yeah, we've been-
what Richard was saying in
Yeah,
Lindsay
they
is,
definitely need to work on it.
because, I mean, they're gonna load all the stuff free of charge now. So I mean, I don't wanna come back on December 31st and say, go.
No,
No.
So,
no.
can we
I'm
do a
meeting
couple
with-
weeks or?
I think
I'm
we
meeting
could
with
add
them
that
Thursday.
in later. Really.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm meeting with them Thursday, we could review it then.
Okay,
Let's see if this-
so the second meeting of the month, put it back on?
Yeah, and we'll make a go, no-go decision 2 weeks from today.
Then we should have more information, budget was by then, next year.
But my understanding is this comes out of the planning and zoning budget.
That's general fund.
Okay, I think we have a motion to table that to the second meeting of the month, to give the engagement committee a chance to take a look at it, come back with some recommendations. Was that motion made?
I'll make a motion.
Moved by Councilor Berquist, supported.
I'll support it.
Supported by Councilor Clausage. Any further discussion? Not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Do that at the next meeting. 18.5, revised website design and modified for phones. Modify, in other words, making them available on phones, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yep. Improving the website, yeah.
All right.
So can I make the motion to table that for 2 weeks so Ashley's committee can take a look at that one also and then you make a go, no-go decision?
I'm moved by Councilor Clausage, the second by Councilor Hess. Table. Further discussion, seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Table. 18.6, would it be a renewal or extension of the certificate of indebtedness for more of a renewal? More of a
So it
renewal?
we'll pay off the current one in December, and we would take this funding in April for the plow truck, but they need to order it by November 1st. So renewal.
All right, so,
Is it 2 years?
Hmm?
2 years to get it?
2 years to get what?
Truck?
No, it would be next spring.
so a
We
little
would- we
better
would
than the
get
fire truck.
funding that-
But it won't
Yep.
get late snowfall.
Yeah.
Still have one to get.
So,
All right, is there a motion to approve the renewal of the certificate of indebtedness to purchase the plow truck as laid out in the materials?
I'll make that.
Moved by
I'll
Councilor
second it.
Hanson, supported by Councilor Hess. Any further discussion? Not all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 18.7 is the cooperative agreement with St. Louis County. I was looking in particular at something that Councilor Berquist had brought up about maintenance when this is all done. And if I'm reading it correctly, the main concern was that whatever roadway improvements are actually put in, aside from the streetlights, if you call them that, are the county's responsibility. Is that the way you reading it too, Council?
and that there will be a separate winter maintenance agreement.
Yeah. So I think, I think the concerns were some of the features that were being installed might be higher maintenance than in the past. So, other than that, city administrator, any surprises in the contract? I thought-
No, it's pretty standard, just if you feel like you've seen this before, you've seen something very similar, there's also corporate construction agreements for the Safe Route to School and the Aurora program. And as you stated, there's a separate winter agreement that will be coming. So if it feels like you see county cooperative construction agreement time and time again, it's because you have.
And we were aware in the beautification, I mean, any lighting that goes on the main street, once it's installed, it's our responsibility. to
Yeah.
maintain.
It's a good clarification, because in the past, I think that's what I questioned.
Yeah, no, it's, we know it's our responsibility.
So,
That's on page 3.
Yep.
yeah, I do have one question about that though. This says that the lighting systems, the maintenance systems, replacement of luminaries and replacing lighting units that are knocked down. Are the new light posts going to have, electrical outlets on them, like some of the old ones do?
Downtown,
So is that going to be our responsibility for that as well? Because it's not explicitly stated, but just the luminaries.
we own
and
the
that.
poles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just wanting to make sure.
And there's a plan, right, for one of them in the middle of the community center parking lot that I think Celebrate Aurora wanted, right?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of community center parking lot, correct me if I'm wrong,
Yeah.
but one on the west side and the east side,
Yeah.
from my understanding.
Okay.
To accommodate to the stage that Celebrate Aurora required.
Well, I'd say, looking at it, we just need to change the administrator to Jeff Jacobson versus Lucas. And other than that, it strikes me as a ordinary contract. I'll move approval.
I'll support that.
Moved by Gregor, supported by Councilman Clausage. Further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Cooperative agreements approved. Moving on to 18.8, proposed resolution 2025-57, adjusting our appointments for the data practices and records retention schedules. We've clearly adopted these at earlier times in our organizational meeting, right, for the first of the year, but now that we have the personnel change, this is the interim or mid-year readjustment of that. So is there a motion to
I
approve?
think this item should be tabled until you have a contract signed with the administrator. There's no sense putting him in place when you don't have a signed contract.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, good with that.
I make a motion to table this.
All right, motion to table by Counselor Hess, support,
I'll support.
supported by Counselor Berquist. Further discussion? Not all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Matters tabled. Moving on to agenda item 18.9, proposed resolution 2025-58. I'm assuming Counselor Hess, that you're going to make a similar motion? All right, moved by Counselor Hess and supported by
I'll support.
Counselor Berquist to table that until we get the contract done. Let's see, seeing no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Moving on to 1810, internal committee board appointment amendments.
That falls right in line with the other one.
All right, so moved by Counselor Hess to table and Counselor Berquist to support. Further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, passes. 18, let's see. Agenda item 18.11, or proposed resolution 2025-59 for the HRA levy that was addressed at our agenda planning meeting. Is there a motion to approve the proposed resolution?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2025-59.
I'll support.
HRA.
Moved by Counselor Hess, supported by Counselor McCloskey. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item 18.12, proposed resolution 2025-60, the Cemetery Memorial Fund. A generous contribution of $50 to the Cemetery Memorial Fund. It's authorized by the proposed resolution. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 2025-60, Cemetery Memorial Fund.
Moved by Counselor Hess, supported by Counselor Hanson. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The resolution's adopted. Next resolution, agenda item 18.13, resolution 2025-61, warming shack donation. Let's see, that was.
2,550.
I'll make that motion to approve resolution 2025-26, accepting that generous donation.
Moved by
6-1.
Counselor McCoskey and supported by Counselor Hess. Any further discussion? Not all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carried. 18.14, request for deferred assessments for some properties on 3rd and 4th Avenue Alley project. How many properties have applied?
So this is something that I was hoping to talk with Jeff with further, but we ran out of time today. But there were two, and from my understanding, most of the data we collected is private. So I didn't know how much of it I should be saying publicly. I'm going to defer to my city administrator for that. Do you want me to say?
No.
Just say, authorize staff to comply with our assessment policy to make sure that we've collected the proper data. I don't know what you as council would like, but there were only two who made it within that deadline.
But they are within the deadline, therefore.
Yep, and they did, everyone produced the proper materials,
To get the deferment?
yes, to qualify for our,
All right, is there a
Not a
motion?
motion.
Whoops, sorry.
Just want to approve the deferments of the applicants meet the criteria.
Correct.
All right, as outlined in our assessment policies, is there a motion to approve these requested deferments?
Make a motion.
Moved by Counselor Hess, supported by Counselor Hanson. Further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Let's see, now agenda item 18.15 deals with property matters. And pursuant to Minnesota statutes section 13D.05 subdivision 3, this time we'd like to move into a closed session to deal with what category of, is it land or?
yeah, this is the real estate matters. Yeah.
Real estate matters, sorry. And record would be kept of that closed session, and then we would go back into open session after we've concluded that discussion.
So we need to not be live.
You need us to stick around for afterwards?
We will go back temporarily into a public meeting, then we'll go back into a closed session, and then we'll come out just to 18.17 city administrator hiring decision discussion.
That's a yes.
Do you want me to text you down the one where, yeah.
All right, I can shut down the live and then just wait in the hall and make sure everything's shut down. But then if we can either relaunch the live or I can just repost it all at one piece later.
Perfect. Sounds good.
I think whatever works.
Yep.
You're the pro.
I think we do. We leave the mics on, right?
If there's nothing hooked up to your camera.
I'll make sure the live is shut down and I'll disconnect the mics and I'll shut the camera down.
Perfect, yeah, that would be the only, but otherwise I think keep them out for when there's a meeting.
Okay, so to move into the closed session, that requires a motion, doesn't it? All right, is there a motion to follow that statute and go into closed session?
I'll make that motion.
Moved by Councilor Clausage,
I'll support it.
supported by Councilor Hanson. All those in favor of going into a closed session?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so we stand now in a